Good morning, guys. I'm just going to do a simple day in the life video, just something super transparent and honest. And let's see, so far I've been up for a long time, several hours. It's probably, well, let's see, it's 7 o'clock already. So at any rate, I've been up for several hours working on code for my website, which is pretty complex. I'm not the best code guy ever, but what I've been working on is I have a land locator which helps people to search and find land using search terms and browsing different search engines like I would do it. And it's complicated to tell people, hey, here's how, because people are always like, how do you find land? It's complicated to walk people through how to search for land on the internet, kind of like. If you've ever tried to help somebody, do computer stuff over just simply telling them, over the phone or a video like this, it's hard. So I created this tool. I launched it on the website, I don't know, a month or so ago. And all kinds of people have been finding land in Australia and Germany and all over the US. And anyway, so for the last couple months, I've been building my website up to, number one, provide a lot of free stuff to my viewers. So I have this huge free guide, which was going to be my third book on homesteading, but I just made it freely available. And it tells you everything you'd need to know to start a homestead. And I feel good about that because my entire brand is basically trust and integrity based. And so what I do, why this works for me is I'm not a sales guy. I don't want to be salesy. And so what I did was created everything you need to start a homestead for free. And it's all freely available. There's the free guide on my website. There's a library page that already has like 18 videos that they're slower than YouTube stuff. It's not reach based, it's trust based. And so it just tells you what you would need to know to start a homestead, talks about things that, that you might need to know. So there's those. Then there's a free water calculator. There's the free land search tool. And then I've got a few products. There's the roadmap that helps if you just need clarity before you're going to jump into everything. There's that. And then there's the path, which is everything. It's the roadmap, the ebooks, the webinar. You might be able to see right here. This is a 6-part webinar. It's actually 8 hours long. That's all included in the path. So basically the path tells you everything you'd need to know, deeper than the free guide that already tells you everything you need to know, but it's just a deep dive. It's almost like sitting there talking to me for 8 hours. So anyways, there's that. And so I'm not trying to sell you nothing, guys. I'm just being transparent. This is a day in the life. I've been up coding on the website. I've been coding for 2 months to give you guys the most valuable possible. I'm really proud of the website. And now what I did, the next thing I'm working on this morning is I have my 8-hour webinar, but then I've designed a lecture for universities and academics. And what it is a systems-based version of, the webinar is good for individuals who are actually going to go start a homestead. This systems-based lecture on how to build a sustainable lifestyle is more university-based and academics-based. And it's only about an hour and a half. And it just walks through tying together how I've created a systems-based homestead, shelter, water, food, power, income. And I just tie all that together in a systems-based lecture. So that's something else I'm finalizing and recording today and making that available for universities and academics. And then outside of that, I'm going to have to do my regular chores. The dogs haven't even been outside yet. I usually wait for the sun to come up so they don't run off after cows or something. So I'll have to do chores. I'm going to have to bring in wood. I'm going to have to cover stuff because it's going to rain all night long. And so there's chores and things. And this is just the real messy life of a frugal off-grid homesteader. And people are finding land in the US, Australia, Germany. They're locating land that they couldn't previously find. If you want to slow down and search smarter instead of looking harder, you can find my Frugal Off-Grid land locator on frugaloffgrid.com. I forgot to mention that I was creating actually a short ad for my land locator as well. So that's what that was. And I've actually never run ads for my business. But now that I'm really expanding, you know, the website, making everything as good as possible, I'm focused on trust-based reach rather than reach. Like, if you've watched YouTube and whatever, it's usually like, hi, check out my channel, da 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 da, and it works. That sells, makes a lot of sales. It works, it draws attention, but that kind of focus is like spike based, right? And so if somebody's creating that kind of content, they might make a bunch of money off of doing that, but then it stops until what it does is it forces a creator to create another exciting, hypey video. And once that one slows down, you have to be another, you know? So you're basically performing, and I don't want to perform. So instead of that, I'm just being honest. Like, hey, this is something I created to help people, check it out. And what that does is it doesn't create nearly as many sales, but it creates a small amount of sales constantly over time, and that's compounding. And I want slow, steady, compounding lifestyle, just like I've created here on the homestead. I'm creating my income around my life rather than creating my life around my income. Okay, so with that out of the way, my next step for the day is to record my new lecture. And I might just try to do that before the dogs get all riled up. And so here's my webinar. Okay, and this is the lecture. So this is the first page for the lecture. Helga's kind of in the way here. Helga, can you go get in bed? Go on, good girl. Go get in bed. Watch out. Go on. Go on. Go on. Okay, go on. Good girl. Go on. I have to ask her 10 times because she's like, are you sure? You sure you don't want me to sit here by the fire? Okay, so I'm going to record this lecture. It's going to take me about an hour and a half. My dogs are probably going to walk in and out of frame a few times, but I think that's perfectly fine. I could set my dogs outside. They'd bark the whole time probably, or I can just be honest and in reality, my dogs get up and look at me, and that's going to be just fine. So let's see here. I think that we're just about really in a pretty good spot here. My head's not cut off. If I stand by the fire, this looks okay. What do you think, guys? Hi, my name's John. I've been living off-grid for about 6 years. I'm going to give you a short story before we dive into my systems-based lecture on building a sustainable lifestyle. In 2020, I decided to make the leap of faith see. how are you, buddy? How are you? Okay, watch out. Watch out, Helga. Go on, go get in bed. Go on, go. Whew, okay. So this wood is all slightly greener, and I've got stuff that's drier. So what I'm doing is stacking up all this wood that's kind of green. I don't got a choice this year, and so it dries out better this way, stacked up here by the fireplace for several days. And then the top layer, I've got pretty dry stuff. I'll throw that on top. Use it first while the other stuff dries out. Stay there, Stapes. It's 10:30 a.m. I recorded the full lecture. I edited it. I cut out the orientation section of it to place on the lecture page on my website. And then, you know, I set the other full-length lecture so that I can send it to universities or academics as they purchase. I also earlier recorded a short video that's going to be just a simple, honest ad for my land locator. And I completed all the code and everything for the land locator. So that's cleaned up, and once I finish uploading the lecture, then I can work on that ad. It started raining 12 hours before it was supposed to for a while, so I ran out and cleaned up some tools, been doing some chores and whatnot. Got a fire going, and we'll just kind of continue around, just showing you exactly what I'm really up to in a day. So breakfast is almost ready. Chicken breast and a few potatoes. It's raining now. I already covered everything out here earlier. You can see it's sprinkling pretty nicely. Everything's covered. You know, the big thing was my firewood's not covered, and so I wanted to bring in quite a bit to allow it to dry. Over the next couple days it'll be wet, and then the sun will come out and that'll dry back out, and I've got more out here out of the way. So that's pretty much what a day looks like for me. I usually wake up around 3 a.m., work until about noon, go eat breakfast. About an hour or two later I eat dinner and just start to relax from here, kind of unwind for most of the day. I'll still do work if it feels good, but that's just an honest day off grid on my homestead.